My name's John Guanasso.
Yay!
Doesn't happen at my house. I am married to Gretchen, which gives me the distinct honor.
The beautiful Gretchen, you wanted to say.
Thank you. The beautiful Gretchen.
Did the microphone.
Which gives me the distinct honor to be Emily's stepfather. The last time I spoke to anybody, it was at Emily's graduation event at our house. We gave her some advice. We talked about 10 pieces of advice for the new graduate. And the next day, she asked me for a copy of my remarks to her and her friends. And of course, I had none. But this time, I'm ready. So I have my remarks. You ready? Oh, God. I need a page turner. Okay, I will be brief. I will not be as succinct as Emily was at my wedding. Emily did not pick up the mic. She simply gave us a card, and on the outside it said, "Congratulations." And you open it up, and on the inside it said, "One of you really married up." Before our toast, on behalf of Sam and Emily, thank you all for coming. Especially those of you that have come from great distances. We have people from Europe, we have people from the East Coast, we have people from Minnesota, we have Ron down from Idaho, we have everybody coming up from the coast. A couple of people today, we were talking and we kind of thought, you know, Sam and Emily have lived here their whole lives. Apparently they don't have a single friend here. But I told them, I said, that's not true. I said, like the Grateful Dead, they're just better on the road. Tonight, a special thank you, of course, goes to the grandparents who have done so much all these years and created all these memories and hosted so many events. Tonight, the grandparents can relax. The honored guests with no responsibilities, and they've earned it after all these years. Let's thank our hosts, David, Susan, Kevin, Gretchen, Naomi. They, along with... With the wedding party, they did a lot. They did the setup, they picked out wedding dresses, they did showers, they worked on menus, they did everything. And watching them was like watching a high school play where they first build the stage, decorate the sets, rehearse their lines, they do all that so that we can just show up and relax. So they did the hard work. All they left for us, the lucky ones, the spectators, were the questions that guests have asked for thousands of years, going back to the wedding feast of Cana. What's for dinner? And how's the wine?
Oh my God, I love you.
Well, now that we've told that, let's take a moment to toast the newlyweds and ask, could you think of a nicer couple than Sam and Emily?
No.
As a parent, could you ask for anything more than for them to bring back a Sam or an Emily from your kids? You get someone who is unfailingly polite, well-spoken, fundamentally kind, well-educated, fully employed. For now. The parents couldn't be happier. You saw them today. A lot of wet eyes from the parents today. These two, I will not go back through all the first dates, but I will just say, from the beginning, there was a certain inevitability to all of us being here today. The mothers started talking wedding after the first date. You heard about the first date, the Sam, the coffee shop. You know, I think he was in there ordering coffee and food he didn't really want, just to keep on visiting. You heard about they didn't see each other until the mask came off on the first date, although I think Emily checked him on social media. But here you got to give some credit to Sam. Guy walks into a coffee shop wearing a mask, carrying a dog, walks out with Emily. He's like my Cyrano de Bergerac for the you don't see him, but he kind of gets the girl. But they're happy, they're eager tonight. Try to isolate a memory of them when they weren't like this. They're an enthusiastic couple. Can you imagine needing some help and Sam not jumping to his feet to be the first one there? And can you imagine Emily casually sitting there watching you do it instead of pitching in? But the exuberance that you see today is not markedly different from what we see on an average Tuesday night dinner. That's who this couple is. And exuberance is a good thing in a marriage. You know, because I think a lot of us, just looking around, I think we remember love, honor, cherish, obey, all of that. But that never really, but that never really captured how a marriage works. Because, you know, when something good happens to a husband, he doesn't come home and say, honey, obey me. And when something bad happens to a wife, you know, she doesn't say, you know, honor me. What really makes a good marriage work, I think, is showing up and sharing. It takes the two of you. And so when something bad happens to a wife, a husband shows up and shares the load, and he cuts that bad time in half. And when something good happens to a husband, a wife shows up and she doubles that good time. You put a little money in the bank that will help you and carry you through some of the hard times. So showing up, being there, I think that's what helps in a marriage. And that actually takes exuberance. You have to be the first one on your feet. Casual indifference has no place in a marriage. You gotta be there and show up. Now, you know, my dad was a judge, and he performed hundreds of weddings. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna surprise you. He did Sam's great Uncle Joe's wedding, Joe Casdale.
Wow.
Then he did Joe's sister-in-law's wedding. Then he did Joe's best friend Tom's wedding.
Oh my God.
Well, okay, 2 weddings for Tom. But my dad had a pretty good, as he used to call it, a pretty good batting average. Most of the people worked out. And at some point in every one of those weddings, including Joe's, he would have turned to the couple and he would have said, it's time for you two to get married. You've been happy long enough.
So nice.
But, you know, tonight doesn't mark the end of the happy phase for these two, because you know they're going to show up for each other. And you know they're going to double the good times. You know that because, I'm going to say something the parents haven't heard, they're good and decent adults. They're not kids anymore. And so the parents and grandparents can take a step back and relax now. You're no longer the first line of defense for these kids. They are their own first line of defense. You've hosted a lot. They might still come by for dinner, but you're no longer on the firing line for these two. They're on the firing line for each other. They will still need you, trust me. They'll do something like have a kid or something, and you'll all come running. But for right now, they are each other's defense. So now, let's raise a glass
Yes,
to
sir.
Sam and Emily. Congratulations. Best wishes. Mazel tov.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God, John, I love you.